Hey guys, welcome to the podcast. I am your host, the Free Spirit Barbie, and if you did not notice, maybe you did, maybe you didn't, we don't have our basic intro today. No big fun fancy music with me coming in with my tagline because we are revamping and we are rebranding and we are up leveling, and there is a new one in the creation and in the process. And I'm really excited to say that and to talk about this because we evolve, right? Everyone evolves again. Hi, since we're revamping, and I should probably reintroduce myself. Hi guys, I'm Kat, your Free Spirit Barbie, and I am your mental mastery and energy coach. And we are starting from the ground up. And, there's a big reason why I'm not like deleting all of my podcasts and everything like that. I want people to be able to see and witness and feel and experience the change that happens when you start to work in alignment with who you are, and the major aha moments are always just so darn good when I do sessions like this. But if you've not noticed, or if you have or haven't, please go back and listen to the last few episodes. I've really, this podcast is starting to become everything that I wanted and dreamt it ever that it could be. And I cannot believe that I'm doing this big revamp to be able to step into the space that I've always wanted to be and work in. And the reason I'm talking about this is because I've even recently invested quite a bit of money into a beautiful online course and community to help me up-level my life spiritually and in business as well. And one of the beautiful exercises, James Wedmore, if you guys don't follow him, please go do so. And he gave me an exercise to do, which was to write down my entire business story. Now here, I'm usually like, I really just want to talk about you guys and the big aha moments and how to apply it to your life. And my computer is dinging, going off because, hey, I guess I'm a busy person today. But I really wanted to talk with you guys and share with you my business story. We're going to try and keep it clean, concise, simple. And I think it's the perfect episode to start to announce the revamp and the realignment and stepping into everything as the Free Spirit Barbie and community starts to level up and step in alignment with the impact that we're trying to create. It's a perfect time to just get self-aware and look and see how far you've come, to look at ground one. Because when you start to question even your beliefs around yourself and your life and your reality, your experience and your energy, you start to question your beliefs with literally everything, which includes time, and your beliefs with business. Like the beliefs that business should be hard, or you have to work 90-hour weeks as an entrepreneur, and you just, have to trade your time for money. And that's so difficult because our own mind will keep us restricted for so long. And the evolution of our life and business just isn't exponential. What's the word I'm looking for? It's nonstop. It's like it will just keep growing and growing and growing as long as you do. So without further ado, you guys, let's talk a little bit about my business story, because people, I'm not huge. I could talk about myself all day long. A, B, C, D, F, G. If you guys give me the opportunity, I will go for days. It's one way to really get me going, my Gemini-ass self. But I don't really talk about my experiences or my past a lot. And as I start to write more and create the blog for my website, I decided that I want to share these experiences with you guys because people just don't know. They don't know how much you struggle, bruh. So, my business story starts, I've been working since I was a teenager. I was always working. First year in college, I had like 11 W-2s. I was just doing part-time, temporary seasonal jobs, just was always going. And the first time I came into an experience of my quote-unquote business was my first like MLM in college. And it was literally jean parties. You guys, like candle parties and stuff, but it was for designer jeans. Didn't go great. Learned some things for sure. Then the second time was, I went back out into the world, corporate world, went to college, did all that beautiful, fun stuff, loved sales. I got married and became a stay-at-home mom. That was the plan. I worked all the way up till almost the end of my pregnancy. And about 2 months into being a stay-at-home mom, excuse me, about 2 months into being a stay-at-home mom, I found another MLM online networking company where I could just work from home. And I made that work. Like, I sold that shit so fast. I learned so many good things. Like, you guys, we can bash on MLMs all day long, but I will say there are so many things that I learned in that experience that I apply to my life now. And I absolutely loved it as a building experience. It gave me beautiful friendships, a lot of practice and rejection, and just how to network and how to just show up for myself even when I didn't want to. And it gave me that outlet as a mom, being a stay-at-home mom, kind of stuck in this very small, sheltered bubble that I was in, traveling around as a military spouse, like not living near people that I knew. It gave me that online community that was always stable for me, which was really, really fun and beautiful. And it was really just beautiful work, busy work that mainly just paid for itself for me to experience the products. But then I left that health and wellness company and I went to like a scent designing company, and I was in this MLM. I was a founding member and leader. I did public speakings and trainings, and it was like the vision for growth for me was super excited in this business because I knew the founder and the creator, and trying to get this business to grow was the most frustrating part for me, not because the product wasn't great, not because everything wasn't the most amazing idea, but because it wasn't set up in the way that it could grow successfully without crashing and burning. And when I realized that it was starting to crash and burn, basically checks were being written that were being bounced back, and I saw it was crashing and burning so fast. I decided to step away and start my own business. I was so over it. I had so many people online who were like, "Yeah, you should just start your own business." And I'm like, all right, bet. So being a stay-at-home mom, I didn't have my own actual income. And so my plan was, I got a little, kind of saved up all my little pennies for my rainy day funds. I had sold some of my stuff. I made a small little business plan showing that I was going to take out a credit card in my name, start my own little business expenses. I presented it to the husband at the time because I had to get that validation and okay. And I started my own spray tanning business. And I did it in Dayton, Ohio. People came to my house. I traveled to their house. At one point, my brain just couldn't stop learning. It just wanted to learn the newest, the best things, how to blend and create solutions, how to match them, custom blend for each client, and scents and skin firming drops. And it was a whole thing. And you learn very quickly that when you lose that sense of community, as a business owner, it's so easy to just not get back up after a small defeat or failure. Because you're never failing, you're figuring it out, right? And I was so stubborn to make this work. Because one, I really truly just loved my spray tan business, was Your Glow Pro, because I loved getting women to just glow. And I always say I'm so much more of an asshole when I have a beautiful spray tan on because I got all the confidence in the world. But I loved just getting those glowing moments out of women and showing them how to do it in a way that was plant-based and phthalate free, but also, women like me, we pretty pasty, we pretty ghost on the ghostly white scale. And especially when I have lupus, and my flare-ups are getting bad, I can't spend a lot of time in the sun. Really high risk for skin cancer as well. So I can't really do a lot of time in the sun to get tan, and the spray tanning was just such a fun way to do it. And I was passionate about it. And the continued education got to the point where I was tapping out. I was learning all these techniques. I was starting to build a bigger studio, and even network with people who did it near me. But we ended up moving across the country for my husband at the time's job in the military. And you learn very quickly when you have to grow that clientele base around you, and then you have to get up and move. It's starting from square one all over again. And that was frustrating. But that's what I'd signed up for, and we moved to Florida, and I set up everything. Life, it was going really well. I was learning a lot of things. I learned some new solutions. Set up a whole new type of studio. Got a better gun. Selling even higher, like $75 tans, and it was a great way to meet people. And I quickly fell in love with group fitness, trying new things, and that like shame, like heaven forbid if you're not spending time with your kids, it better be like at the gym, because you got to be bettering yourself if you're not spending it with them. And so I fell in love with fitness and group fitness, and in the sense and journey of all of that, I got my own health coach, which inspired me to also be a health coach. Which is so funny. I try things and I experience them, and then I implement them into my life. And I was told that by a human design chart reader recently. Like it's like a karmic way I learn things. And it's so funny because the first time I got my spray tan in someone's house, I was like, I could do this. Started a spray tan business a year later. Same thing kind of happened with the coaching as well. And I really just like to go learn how to do things, and then I can teach them to you through trial and error and save you guys from all the time. But so before I started health coaching as my own actual business, I enrolled in all the schoolings, learned everything I wanted to learn, and then I hired an online business coach before I even started taking on clients. So I hired this coach, and I learned that the health coaching for me was such a big thing. Let's do a business coach as well. It's a game changer. The amount of success you will have, I think when it comes to businesses, it's like 2 in every, or 3 in every 8 will, or my gosh, was it 8 in every 10? I don't even remember. It is an extremely high, more than, it's got to be 7 in 10, 70% or 80%, whatever. Don't quote me on any of those statistics, but a majority of small businesses quit or go under within their first 18 months. And I'm like, well, if the odds are already stacked against me, let's put somebody else in my corner. And you're like 80% more likely to succeed when you have accountability. So said, screw it, hired a business coach, got all the groundwork and all the foundational work done and created. So the day that I passed my certification, I got on a sales call and hired my first client for $900 for 12 weeks doing fitness coaching with me. And I had no real program built. I just had a system that I was going to use to create this change. And it was my biggest dramatic, like, changing transformation client I'd ever had. I loved it, and loved everything about it. Still was feeling incredibly just unaligned with my content, because it was very, a lot of my content and who I was at the time was living in a state that through a filter. There were things I couldn't do, ways I couldn't dress, things I couldn't talk about, all the fun stuff. And then the pandemic hit in 2020, and a big major life shift happened for me. If you know, you know. I came out, I got divorced, and a mentor of mine had to remind me a few things, because during the divorce and COVID, and like there was a good 6-7 month period where I wasn't okay. I had to close my tanning room down because I actually moved into there temporarily through the divorce, and I stopped coaching because I couldn't help myself. So I did not want to take on other clients, because it was just the imposter syndrome, and I had to, for my client's safety and my safety, really take care of myself at the time. And a mentor of mine pulled me out of the bullshittery of which I was in, because I was holding on to it a little too long, and told me I had to be a coach. I wasn't meant to work at a 9-to-5 job. I had to go get a 9-to-5 job. I hadn't worked in 7 years because I'd been a stay-at-home mom. And so I went and got a 9-to-5 job, and she was like, Kat, you need to start coaching. Like, you were meant to be a coach. I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of coaches, and you need to do this. And she pulled me back into it. I invested my life savings then in another business coach, where that first one I had just gave me the course and ran, never heard from him again. Dope, love that. It's a little sting. So I was a little terrified about investing in coaching again. And I invested my savings as a single mom then in a business coach, which then what was it? October 2020 is when I went full time. You guys, I literally did a day job for like 4 months, 5 months, and I was like, nah, I can't do this. Like, I've never been one that just, nope. And I got sent home to take a COVID test during my finance job and never went back. October 2020, I never went back to my day job. And by January 2021, so October, November, December, 4 months later, I had manifested and created my first $19,000 launch, which is insane. And now I get to work full time, creating change, creating incredible things. I'm finalizing my website today, you guys. I sell meditations online, and I work with one-on-one clients that try to make the world a better place. And I've built a machine that creates change and not tied my self-worth to that machine anymore. And that's so weird to say, because I mean, there's so many coaches and stuff out there who will just be like, just don't be attached to the, don't be attached to the sales. Just have no emotion. Just have no emotion. Be happy or sad if you get the sale or not. Just stop. Just remove all attachment. And people think that means that you just don't care. And it's not about not caring. It's about not attaching to the outcome, assessing an attachment to the outcome. So if you do not close that sale, it's not the no that you're afraid of. It is the no that you have, the meaning you've given that no, if that makes sense. So although my business and everything I create is my skill set, it was created from a place that is authentic in me. It is not who I am. Attaching your identity and your self-worth to an ever-changing variable, like let's say the busyness season in your business. That season is something that is ever-changing and you cannot control. So if you attach that to your self-worth and your identity to something like that, your ego to something like that, you are going to be in for a crazy cycle mental ride in the business world. But I digress. I just feel so incredibly blessed to have created a world and a business, and I feel like I'm just starting, which is why this podcast is being revamped. And you're seeing a whole new side to not just my reality, but your reality. And the people who are sent and called to listen to these are meant to listen to them for a reason. And I trust that everyone who's meant to hear them will hear them. And they'll hear the message that comes with them when they're ready to hear it. So that was my business story, with a side few other little rants. I'm going to go off and finish this blog about the shadowed superpowers I found, the little fun superpowers I have found in my shadows, my shadow strengths, doing shadow work. I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you so much for being here and listening to my business story. Just remember that just because you have literally imagined that possibility for you shows that there's a world where that possibility actually existed. So when you start to doubt your capabilities, oh my goodness, it's not that it can't exist, it's just that your ego mind's really great at keeping you in search of truth to the fear and limiting beliefs that you have with yourself. It searches for that truth that you can't be a business owner, that you can't do the thing you love. It searches for truth with the belief that the things you love can't bring you the money that you want or need and desire. So don't let fear be your advisor, Because let me tell you, everybody told me that I should not quit my day job when I was wanting to go work for full-time for myself. But I jumped in. A single mom, no work experience, took forever just to even get that job during a pandemic. And I remember being on one of my first podcasts and saying, I can't wait to do the podcast episode where I had a $40,000 launch and a $60,000 launch. Here we are. You can manifest the absolute dreams. You just have to believe that you are worth it and do the work to put into that. All of your ideas can bring you the abundance you desire. And that is what I'm going to teach you how to do. All right, guys, have a blessed day. Go freaking meditate and drink some goddamn water. Until next time, stay safe and protect your energy.